Here we go. Okay, so we're going to do this test. I'm going to sit in the wheelchair. Councilmember Ritter's going to push me for a little bit. I'm going to put my feet up. There's no foot pegs on this one, so this is going to be interesting. We're starting at the south end of town here, and we've got to cross the street. So, as you can already see, there's no sidewalk here. So we're going to go down a little bit. I'm going to hang on. So as we get up here, since there's no sidewalk, we're going to have to go out around this car. Okay, it looks good. So we're here on a Sunday afternoon, so the traffic is a lot less than it usually is. And we got lucky for no rain. There's no snow, and the temperature is pretty good.
I brought my rain jacket.
I would imagine if there was any harsh weather involved, that this would be even more difficult. We're gonna cross here. Woohoo! We're gonna try to get up this sidewalk over here. We're in the middle of the highway. Highway 20 Junction and 97. Woo! Okay, now keep in mind, most people that are wheelchair bound are pushing themselves. The people that we see in our community that are in wheelchairs, they don't have anyone pushing them. They're on their own. So, but yes, awesome Councilmember Ritter. I think when we get to the north end, I'll have to push her back so that you guys can see the other side of the road here. This is, we just passed one easement going into the junction there, which was fairly easy. Some businesses are able to provide wheelchair access, and some are not. Okay, so we're coming up to a spot here. We do have an old wheelchair access. They're waving us by. Ooh. Okay. That was a little steep, and from the sounds of it, Councilmember Ritter had to push a little bit harder. If there's, of course, lots of traffic, that makes it a little bit more difficult. One of the things that we're trying to show everyone is this highway needs to be ground down by the DOT. And when it's ground down, we wanted to be able to put in ADA accessible curbs so that the people in Tonasket that are wheelchair bound can come down into town and be able to go to the stores by themselves and keep that quality of life as high up as we possibly can keep it for them. But we've had an issue with being able to get, oh boy, hang on. So there's no ramp here, so it's really high right there. So we're gonna have to come back down around here, and we're gonna hope.
Into the road again.
So we're back in the highway. There's no curb over here either. So we're gonna have to stay in the highway, or unless it was she was able to, turn me around and pull me up the curb, but no one's going to be able to do that on their own unless they are able to walk. So anyways, back to our little story here. We have the opportunity to be able to locate some funds and be able to do new curbs, ADA accessible corners in our town, but we can't do that without being able to grind down the highway. Doing one and not the other isn't going to work. Someone's going to have to do their job twice. Now right there, this is another business that has access off the highway, so we were able to use that in order to get up here on the curb. So the actual corner doesn't have an ADA accessible spot, but we're gonna come up here on the gravel. And then we gotta go back in the highway. Whoa. I'm thinking because of the way it's going, this is not the easiest thing to do. I guess I'll learn on my way back. As you guys can see, we got, I think a lot of times there's issues like this in small towns, but the sidewalks are cracking and big chunks of them taken out, and you can see where it's been patched. Okay, this is where we're close to the hospital, so it has a decent ramp right here.
And a good crossing.
And a good crossing.
We have the crossing ready.
So in a good crossing right there, this is going to be a big bump. So a good crossing right there as well, which we would love to everyone to be able to utilize all the way through town. If you can get to the hospital crossing, then you can cross, but it's just being able to get there on your own in a safe manner without having to wheel your wheelchair on the highway. Now we're gonna go all the way to town, and Councilmember Ritter is going to get one heck of a workout. This is slightly going uphill. This is the only way, besides back roads, for a person that is wheelchair bound to get to the food bank. And this is also access to the clinic that is over there, the family health center is right there, and our North End grocery store, which at times is open at different times. So you'll find here, even though there's a crossing, there is no wheelchair possibility of getting over there without coming down this one and turning, going into the road, and then crossing. Here's our next wheelchair accessible crossing.
I don't believe those meet the newest ADA standards for that crossing.
That's Councilmember Ritter just made a very good point that even though they look ADA accessible, meeting the new requirements is we do not believe that they do meet those requirements. Now this will get a little tricky up here. The road starts going up this way, but we want to go that way. And there's this big island area here, so we're going to end up having to utilize, either go all the way to the corner and off a curb, or utilize one of these people's residential accesses. And from the looks of it, across the road there might be an access, but we will find out here in a second.
Go to the corner and see. Which is kind of a high one.
So this is a high one, It looks like they've added some concrete in there to, whoa. Okay, it's on a slope. So that was a little scary because I started going off the side. Jill caught me, so I didn't fall off. But here's where we're at with this. Not exactly sure how this works.
I figured we'd try to go down by the next intersection. See if we can go down to Main Street there.
And to everyone that was curious, if you're pushing a wheelchair, or even people are not going to be able to go as fast as a young, healthy individual pushing a wheelchair. And Jill has been pushing me, and I'm not a kid. I'm a full-size adult. And to get from one side to the other is 11 minutes with going into the highway.
It's gonna be a record for me.
Okay, so we are going to have to utilize a residential access, because there's no curbs, no ADA curbs anywhere around here. So here we have this road coming down this hill. There's no brakes. We're in the road because we have no choice.
I wonder if wheelchairs come with brakes, if they were by themselves and had to use this hill, if they could brake somehow to control their speed, or if they just have to use their hands, and if they were weak, they couldn't do it appropriately.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Our older community, they do lose hamstring.
So here's the grocery store, but there's no sidewalk, and there's a very narrow strip with fog line.
So there's
You are incredibly close to the traffic.
no sidewalks at all. Okay, we're at the grocery store. So
Head back.
we're gonna swap out, and we're gonna head back south and show that one of the things that we're gonna show is we have to cross this highway in order to get on the other side. So I'm gonna hand it over to Jill and go from there.
All right. Try to keep my feet from dragging.
Okay, this one's narrow too.
Yeah. Not a lot of room on the fog line to use for pedestrians. Safely, anyways. So I got my groceries. I got my coffee at Roosters. And now I'm ready to go home. Little uneven surface there. Is it too hard to push in the gravel, Deegan?
It's not the easiest thing to do.
Well, and it's kind of on a slope, so
Yeah.
if you were to give yourself distance between the traffic and the fog line, you don't have a lot of option here. The dirt is somewhat soft and a little more difficult to navigate, and again, if you're a person with very little arm strength that has to power your own wheelchair, that could be very challenging.
Here's the food bank.
Yeah, here's a food bank. Okay, is this a sidewalk or a parking lot? Probably both.
What's that?
This here, is that a sidewalk or a parking lot?
Well, I think that's the parking lot.
Alright. So we're gonna stay in the road here.
I think there's plenty of room for a sidewalk.
Yeah. So we've traveled 2 blocks with no sidewalks and no ADA ramps. So while the east side of our main street is got more contiguous sidewalk and a few ADA ramps here and there, the west side of our main street doesn't appear to have any thus far, which we've traveled
Okay, we could
3
go up
blocks.
this
Whoa.
and utilize a short piece here.
You're gonna run me into those bushes.
Once again, it's
A
all
little
cracking.
rough sidewalk and encroaching bushes. Oh boy, you can't go down there. It's a pretty high curb. There's
So-
no ADA ramps anywhere. Oh, gee.